Alright. So first things first, we are just going to do what we usually do, open Blender, delete everything in the default scene. And we're just going to append. That was probably too fast for you. Oops. Going to append. Like normal. Scroll to the model. Scroll to it. Down to the objects. Open it. Click on one of the objects, doesn't matter which one. Hit A. And append the entire thing. Now, like I said, these come with lights of their own, but we're not gonna use them. Get rid of them. And the camera goes to. Don't touch those. Those are what makes her hair, like, look like that. Same with these little things here. Those things. Those things. These things. That controls her front hair. That controls her back hair. And that controls her tail. You need them. Do not, I repeat, do not delete them. Same with Chica. Same with Gregory if he has them. Same with everyone here. From the Kawaii or Coolio Art Security Breach model pack that was commissioned by Coda. So yeah. What works with what? Click your armature and go to pose mode. Like I said before, this uses an IK rig, so most of it can be mirrored pretty easily with this button here if you want to get like a symmetrical pose. Her feet are also symmetrical. That moves that. That's mirrored. Her earrings are mirrored. Oh boy. Okay. As you can see, even if you go into shaded mode, her eyes are not existent. Simple fix. Just go here. Screen space sub-refraction thing. Put it on and there. They're back. If you don't want to use the keytar, just move it out of the way. Same thing. So, yeah. If you want to move these at the same time, you are going to have to do a bit of creativity things to move them, because these do not mirror on their own. Control Z to undo movements. Or if you've made a movement, like for example this, and oh, I don't want to make that movement, simply right click and it will pop right back to its original location. if you want to move things correctly at like certain angles, hit and hold control while you do this. And you can snap her to certain angles. Move certain degrees, just use the move tool. T to open that menu and hide it. Made a movement, like, I don't know, you moved her hand far beyond her reach. You don't want that. Go here. Using the N key, have the bone that you've moved selected. Press the N key, this menu will open, go here and press X. Not X. Go here and press backspace. And that will reset it. You'll have to do this for any bone that you moved that you did not want to move. Now, setting up a scene is a bit different. Most people usually render a transparent background. I will cover maps in just a minute. Right now, just make these, like, 3 collections that I'm going to make. These collections you will use for different things. For the map, be in object mode, and add a plane. We're just going to scale this little guy up, and we're going to make what would be the essential equivalent of again, if you don't want to select vertices, just select edge select, and you can select the entire edge. We're making what would essentially be the equivalent of a studio. Backdrop, basically. Gonna shade smooth, so it's nice and smooth. Looks a little too much. Now we can either move this down or we can just move Roxanne up. Just to get it like so that she's like so that it's like she is in the ground. She does look a little too far into the ground. So yeah, that seems about right to me. And then what you would do is you would of course pose her first, but I'm just showing you how to set up a quick little scene to render if you're just wanting to render something and try stuff out. I'm gonna add the camera. We're gonna scale it up because it is kind of tiny. And we're gonna go to animation view so that we can work without this, like, stuff getting in the way. And we're gonna use this. This would also be like the same like animation layout, the animation tab. You would use this to like pose your model so that you could see it without the massive amount of bones in the way. Especially if your model's like rigged like this. Because there are things that are on it that kind of like take away from like your sight. Now, let's see. Just for simplicity, since we have a camera in it, I'm gonna go ahead and change this to I believe by yep. I believe that is the correct one. Yes, it is. Yep, but basically, if you wanted to use this for like a YouTube thumbnail or backdrop for your desktop or a community post, you would change this basically to the size you need it to be. For example, you would I think it's like 6 16. I forget the size. I have to look it up every time I do a community post. Okay, looks like we're right on time. Gonna go to shading. Of course, we're gonna go to world view. And we're going to just make the world dark. Of course, don't stain Eevee. Go to cycles if you want to use cycles. And we're going to use this lights. And a cool way to light your scene is by using either area lights. Point lights are like a light bulb. They basically illuminate like this. Like a light bulb. Next, sunlights, they are what they are. They are suns. That is what they are. A spotlight. It is what it is. Just a spotlight. Akin to what you see on a stage. If you do turn up the background again, it will things brighter, you can also do this. You can also use area lights. Area lights are akin to what you would see in studios. Studio lights, basically. You have to really crank these guys up to really see them. But yeah. You can change these to any point of light you want. Oh, wow. That was, interesting. But as you can see, Cycles Render really does a lot of good on this model. The imperfections are seen, you can see all, like, the... She looks realistic. Another cool thing you can do is you can use objects to light your scenes. Objects like a plane. I think I can just make these disappear for right now. I really hope my mic is on. It is. Okay. Now let's go to emission. Yep. And she's already slightly glowing. You also, like, basically you just start adding things. And a quick way to turn this around is to just mirror it, because it is its own origin. And as you change things, you will see differences. Fun thing to do for rim lighting is just add some spears. Just a little UV sphere. And you just shade it smooth. Make it go up. Okay, that looks a little weird. And we're just gonna add like a very, very, like, I think like bright red-ish pink emission. Use emission shaders, please. Do not use the principled BSDF shader. If you do change the size of these objects, you will have to move them around a bit, because you don't want to render these in your scene. It will look weird. That's why if you're rendering a full scene and you're not rendering something like this, my advice would be just use the lights that they give you in Blender instead of making lights using planes and stuff. But yeah, that's the simple gist of lighting a scene. Just play around with things and experiment. Like, for example, these things are too even. Let's move them back. Of course, they are going to be in the scene, in the shot, by accident. Changing the size of things will change how bright they are. And already we've given it a different feeling than what it had. Of course, another way to do this is by changing the color of your world. Changing your world's color will also kind of like change the different feel of it. But lighting is also a good way to change the feel of your renders. And I think also if I add like another in here, and I just Cycles is going to be slow, by the way. It's meant to be slow. It's not going to be fast. Make sure denoise is clicked so that when you're in Cycles, you'll see this thing denoise. We're just going to add emission. Just stick in a bright purple light. These are at 22,200. 22.200. Change the background to this. Of course, we're just gonna now, if you're ready to render, just change this to 128. Or change it to 500. Or any other thing that you want. 128, 500, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, whichever. But remember that the more you put this up to this render setting here, not viewport, don't touch that, do not touch that at all. Viewport, do not touch that. I repeat, don't touch it, do not. And already you can see her tank top is like, whoo, shiny. Like, this is what renders should look like. Not exactly. I'm still a novice, so I'm not like the best person with lighting, but I'm going to improve over time, and that's the point of my channel. To show you my improvement, to teach you how to improve, and to share the skills I learn. And to model things and have fun. I really like the lighting that I gave this thing. It's kind of neat. But now we're on to something a little more advanced. So which means, you know what that means. Delete your art, as Drawfee would say. And we're just gonna get rid of all of these things that we're not gonna use. You know why? You know why? Because we're adding a map. Now, this is a little more advanced than what you think. We're adding a map into this. It's a little hard to explain. I will be right back. Ari, I am back. You know how it is. Why am I in this folder? Oh, right, we're adding a map. I save all my maps that I find in a different folder. I will show this in a later time. Maybe when I get a better computer, or maybe later when I feel like my computer's woken up. So, we have the Atrium by Draven, which crashes Blender like crazy for me. We have the Greenrooms by Draven, which work very good for me. Atrium by Acid, which is a recreation of the Atrium that was ported by Draven. Atrium, better, which I will use, but some of the textures are missing. So I have to go in and fix them. And then Greenrooms fan-made, which only contains Glamrock Foxy's Green Room. And no, I'd have to fix the textures in this as well. I forgot. Yeah, some of the textures in these things are gone. I'm not sure where they went or why. So we're just gonna use the Atrium better. We're actually gonna put this to solid view. And we're going to append this. This. And this. I'm not sure if you're following, but what I did was I have map selected, so making sure it like goes into that one. I do the collection thing to stay organized. And gonna go to maps. Atrium. Actually no. I realized. So, Greenrooms, I'm just going to show you to import it, or append it, but what we're going to do is we're just going to append this Atrium less laggy version. It's the same thing, basically. Select the thing, it'll open this, find the object, select that, click A, append. It's gonna take a little bit to open. It likes to take its time. Because it's got like tons of things it's got to do. Of course, she is objectively gigantic here. Just for sake of simplicity, we're just gonna do a quick rendy of her. Just, if I can find a good angle. Just like right up there looking over the balcony. Just gonna do her like this. Probably won't need her in the plants. We could do her sitting. We could do her sitting at the table. Is that actually a table? No. It is a standing place. That is exactly what I meant, but okay. Just gonna she's kinda tall still. Try and find something to help gauge her height by. Or have a cutout of what her height is and scale that down with her. I'm just gonna do her looking over the balcony. Perfect. We rotated her 90 degrees. She's still tall. But she is an animatronic, so I shouldn't be, like, fussy with her height. No, no, come, give me the camera. Give me the camera. Why can't I grab the camera? There we go. There we go. Now we're just gonna zoom over to her. I'm going to learn how to activate the fly and navigation walk thing on this thing. Because right now we literally just have to, like, try to get this thing over there. Or we can just do that. And because we don't need this keytar, well, I guess we could do it like she's getting ready for the show. She just has, like, the keytar leaning against this thing. So we're just gonna like pose this such a way. Maybe we should have it, like, leaning. No, we need to have it leaning up against this specifically. Okay. This might be sped up.